Portland and Michigan have both been off since Friday, both ready to retake the field on this sweltering Sunday afternoon in Shelby, North Carolina, the 99th edition of the American Legion World Series. Midland knows they're playing tomorrow in the semis. Portland, Oregon still has work to do, and they know that they are a little more complicated than that. 3 of the 4 semifinal tickets are set. In the Stripes division, Tupelo and Lincoln are moving on. Tupelo will be the 1 seed, even though they play later tonight against Fairfield. And Portland knows they're in with a win. They could also lose and still get in if the math is right. And Steve Woodard is here to explain all of the minute details. Just kidding. The craziest scenario, Woody, is if Michigan wins 7 of 4, it could come down to a coin toss. Well, let's talk about Portland. They're 1-1. They're a different team than last year, but they know that they could be in the semifinals if they win today.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're going to miss their shortstop, Hemsley. He went home. He's hurt. They're going to have somebody step up. Grabball's been doing great. This should be a good game.
Michigan won on Friday with only 1 hit. Let's see what happens today. But first, let's honor America. We send you down to the field. This is an interesting game because Midland is battling to be the 1 seed with a win. If they lose, they're the 2 seed. And yet they know they're in the semifinals. Here's the starting 9 for Portland. Pose 158. Jaden Tregesser, the second baseman, leads off with Andrew Ha in center field and Ryden Nakamura in right. Gabe Coltman, Joe Duran said he wants to get his cleanup hitter going. He's the left fielder batting fourth. Cal Gradwell, he's going, 3 hits on Friday. Nolan and Ben Folio, the brothers, bat 6th and 7th respectively, with TD and King rounding out the 9. Man, King was clutch on the mound in Portland's win here on Friday. On the mound for Midland, Michigan, this Portland team will be taking their swings against Blake Cyan. And for Michigan, they know that they're in the semifinals regardless of this result. It's not a totally meaningless game for them because I'm sure they'd love to win their pool. But Blake Cyan gets a start, and we'll see if he can throw strikes and keep him in the game.
Yeah, he's already pitched once here. You can see on the board there, 1 inning pitch, no runs, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 18 pitches. But, he's really just trying to fill some innings for them. And, they want to get out of here with a win for sure. But they don't want to use too much of their pitching up for the next 2 days.
Yeah, it's an artful, interesting predicament that they are in, that Dan Cronkrite has been in before as a veteran of World Series past. Cronkrite leading Midland Berry Hill post 165 to the World Series championship 17 years ago in 2009. Let's check out the defense behind Cyan. Michigan's defense has been the best so far in Shelby. They've only made 1 error in 2 games. Kyler Smith in left, Owen Dominowski in center, and Gabe Wegner in right. In the infield, it's Jay Roper, Tabor Edwards-Benner on the left side with Jimmy Sequin and Jaden Miski on the right. And Caden Nieto, who had the big grand slam here to get things rolling for Midland back on Thursday morning. Feels like 3 weeks ago. That was a huge moment for Nieto, and he's back behind the plate doing the catching for Cyan. Dan Cronkrite, a legend of Legion ball, University of Central Michigan Hall of Famer. He played for Midland, Woody, back in the late 70s, early 80s, was a state champ in 1979. Midland baseball and Dan Cronkrite go hand in hand. They are one and the same.
He's a good one. All these guys love him, respect him, and they want to win this for him.
Trying to get back on top. Got a good opportunity to do it. They've been the runners-up twice since they won it all in 09. And off we go, the 11th pool play game of the 99th American Legion World Series. Jaden Tregesser, the second baseman for Portland, takes ball 1 outside. The Barbers are 1-1 and in the semis with a win. If they lose, but it's a low-scoring game, they're good.
They can get in. And I wonder if Florida's here watching. Are they watching at home or at the hotel, excuse me, or where they're at?
I can almost guarantee they're watching. I can't pinpoint their location.
The last time this happened like this, we had them, they were sitting right down behind the third base dugout when we This is several years ago. I think I forgot who it was, Hawaii or somebody was sitting there.
Honolulu needed a certain number of runs. But Honolulu, the team that was watching that day, had a better chance, I think, than Jacksonville has. But we'll see. You never know. What a great game earlier today between Lincoln and White House. Down to the wire. Incredible tension. Ball 4 outside to Jaden Tregesser. And a 5-pitch walk to start things for the Portland Barbers. Woody, I enjoyed listening to you and Phil and digesting all the strategy and the tactics, and it was a bit of a balk fest at times.
It was a balk fest, and with a lot of mistakes on the bases and a lot of guys all over the bases. So it was interesting.
In the end, Michael Lonnick's Lincoln, Nebraska team punches their ticket to the semifinals for the second time in the last 4 years. Andrew Ha stands in, takes a strike. Andrew's got 3 hits in the first 2 games here in Shelby.
And Evan, this is where it's going to be a lot different. You know, Hemsley is usually in this spot, been there all year, one of their top players. Injured his shoulder the other night on a slide into third base and ended up having to fly back home. And hopefully he's going to be okay, but we're going to see how that's going to affect him.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see that for Ryan Hemsley. 0-2, that's in there. Andrew Ha watches it go by and he strikes out looking. So Blake Cyan begins with a walk and then comes right back with a 3-pitch strikeout. Right at the knees.
Right at the knees.
One away for Raiden Nakamura. Only one Nakamura on the Portland Barbers squad this year. They had 3 of them last year. Raiden, his older brother Logan, and his cousin Jaden.
And he's going to actually join Jaden at Iowa Western Junior College.
That's strike 2 to Raiden Nakamura, who hit 600 in the American Legion World Series last year. 3 for 7 this year so far.
Yeah, and he's been doing it with 2 outs and 2 strikes, and they kind of flipped the order. They had him behind Coltman and put him now in front of him to try to change some stuff up. And now with the way Gradwell's swinging at Evan, they've got him behind Coltman.
I was chatting with Joe Duran earlier today. He really wants to get Gabe Coltman going. He really expects him to be a difference maker offensively.
Well, he hit over 500 here at this World Series last year with 3 home runs.
Did not go. Ball 1. Joe Duran said, we've yet to play our best baseball in Shelby, but we really want to win today. A couple of their best hitters haven't gotten going yet. And a nice off day yesterday, though. 1-2, foul back. They actually went to Carowinds, the amusement park, as a team. They celebrated Nolan Folio's 19th birthday. They've been on the road for about 20 days. 106 degrees at times at regionals. It's been a grind. Joe Duran said it was a great way to spend a day, kind of take your mind off baseball. It's foul tip into the catcher's mitt, and Blake Cyan gets Nakamura swinging, 2 gone.
Well, it's funny, Joe Duran and I were actually doing laundry last night at midnight together down at the hotel.
Any static cling?
Good breaking ball by Cyan.
So here's Coltman. He's just 1 for 5 so far. First pitch swing and a slow tapper to third. Jay Roper across the diamond, and it's off Miski's glove. It bounces away, allows Tregesser to scoot over to third. That should have been the end of the inning. Instead, it's an error on Miski at first for not making the catch. And the Barbers have runners at the corners for the hottest guy in their lineup, Cal Gradwell. 3 hits on Fridays coming up next.
I thought they were for sure out of the inning here, and it looked like he just reached a little too early for it.
Just the second error for Michigan here in Shelby. Gradwall cuts through the fastball, 88 miles per hour according to the stadium gun. Gradwall 1 hit on Thursday, 3 hits on Friday. It's funny, each of these teams have played 2 games coming into today, Woody. Portland has 11 runs on 16 hits. Michigan has 16 runs on 11 hits. Michigan has 11 hits and they've given up 11 hits, but they've scored 16 and they've only allowed 6. Michigan has gotten some clutch outs defensively when they've needed them.
Yes, they have, and they won that game the other night on 1 hit, which was a bunt, against a good Florida team.
Yeah, Florida's not too far away from being 3-0.
Yeah.
Instead, they're 1-2 and hoping Michigan can score a lot of runs today. That's a good start for Blake Cyan. He works around the leadoff walk and the error, and he strikes out the side. 3 Ks in the inning for Blake Cyan. After half an inning, it's Oregon. Michigan's Midland Berry Hill post 165 has this lineup with Edwards Benner leading off at short. Jimmy Sequin is the second baseman batting second. Caden Nieto catches and hits third with Jaden Miske cleaning up at first. Gabe Wegener, Jay Roper, Aryan Punjabi, the DH. Owen Dominowski in center and Kyler Smith in left bats ninth. And it'll be Ben Folio on the mound getting the start here for this Barber squad. 13 pitches and 1 2-strikeout inning on Friday, and he's back to work today against a good Michigan lineup.
Yeah, he's their stud, number 2 ranked pitcher in class of 27 in Oregon. He's a fun one to watch.
Edwards Benner batting from the right side against the lefty, loops it to shallow right, and Nakamura got a late jump on it but covers the ground and takes care of it for out number 1. Oregon's made 3 errors defensively in their first 2 games here in Shelby. Nakamura in right, Ha in center, and Coltman in left. It's different from when there were 3 Nakamuras on the diamond. Gradwall's the third baseman. Nolan Folio is the shortstop. He moves there from the catcher spot. Jaden Tregesser at second and Caleb Teedy at first. Joe Duran forced to reshuffle the lineup and the defensive alignment with the injury suffered by their starting shortstop.
Yeah, that was a big blow, but we saw the other day that Folio went from catcher to short to pitcher back to catcher, so he can do a little bit of everything.
So Nolan is the older brother at short. Ben on the mound and gets a swing and a miss from Sequin. Jamie Sequin's older brother played for Midland as well, recent years. 1-2. Fouled off to left.
Here's another storyline right here to pay attention to. I'm sure Nolan Folio always catches his brother Ben. So let's see if that affects Ben in any way.
Working from the windup, the lefty fires and just misses a hair low. In there for a called third strike. And down goes Sequin by way of the K for the first time here at the American Legion World Series.
And It's tough when you throw that pitch on that outside part of the plate like that and paint it.
No score, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for Caden Nieto. Swing and a miss at the off-speed offering from the lefty. Nieto only has 1 hit so far in his first 2 games, but it was a big drive with the bases loaded. A grand slam in the 2nd inning here on Thursday morning.
Well, if you remember Nieto from year before last, he was on this team, and he's dropped 25 pounds, Evan, better shape, worked a lot on his offense, and he's at Kellogg Junior College, which is one of the top junior colleges in the country.
He hit 369 for Kellogg CC this past spring.
They were in the Junior College World Series.
Yep. Nieto was coming into the World Series hot. He had 5 RBI in the regionals, hit 429 as Michigan won the Great Lakes for the 11th time in the last 18 years. And it's funny, Joe Duran, I don't think expected to be back at the World Series this year when the season started, just because he said, people don't win regions 2 years in a row that often. It's really rare. High fly right side, deep ball for Nakamura, but he's there. And it's a good start for Ben Folio. No issue with who's catching, it appears, in the first at least, which means he is eligible to play next year too, because he was just 18 when this year started.
And he's fun to watch. You wanted to try to see if we get him at all the positions, didn't you, during one game?
I think Phil said that, but you can just create one person, one Morphus play-by-play announcer. I heard Phil say that.
I got you. And he probably could play every position if he can catch and pitch. So
I was broadcasting in the minor leagues. I forget what year exactly this happened. It was sometime 2011, 2012. Where a member of the Carolina Mudcats played all 9 positions in 9 innings. And they made a thing of it. I was on the opposing team. He actually came on the mound in the 9th and got the save after playing a different position in each of the first 9 innings. And it was a tough day to do radio because they kept changing the defensive alignment literally every single inning. Nolan Folio, 1 for 6 so far. Very talented catcher, moving a shortstop today. Nolan and his younger brother Ben, both attending Clackamas High School in the Portland area. One of 4 players from the Clackamas program on this post-158 Barbers squad. Down the right field line. And foul. They are the Barbers because they're sponsored by one of the local barber shops.
Hence the B on their jersey.
If they win today, swing and a miss, and Folio strikes out. First at bat as a 19-year-old, he's 0 for 1. If the Barbers win today, they will be the top seed in the Stars division. And they will take on the Rugs in the late semifinal tomorrow. So we'd have the Rugs and the Barbers, Lincoln and Portland. Tupelo, Mississippi, Rudy, still has 1 more game to play, but they are locked into the 4 o'clock semifinal. It'll be against either Portland or Jacksonville, whoever's the 2nd place, or Midland. Because if Portland wins this game, Midland could be there too. So there's still 3 possible teams to finish 2nd in the Stars division. Was fouled off the foot. Ben Folio goes for a slow walk around. Appears to be all right.
And we'll see that Tupelo, Mississippi team later tonight.
Yep.
They swung the bat well.
And Fairfield, who's going to be Tupelo's opponent later, ouch.
Oh, that's off the knee.
Now, Fairfield has not played poorly. They've lost 2 games by a grand total of 3 runs combined.
Yeah,
and yet they're 0-2.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Hansen this morning, shook his hand, congratulated him on getting here, and such a nice man.
See
Coach
if they
of
can
California.
close out their experience with a win like New Hampshire did last night. Out to left field for Ben Folio, and it's Kyler Smith taking care of it for the second out here in the second inning.
Well, that was interesting last night in that game with Florida, because there were 2 pop flies in the last inning or whatever that could have been caught and dropped, and that gave them a chance to come back and score and tie it up.
But the first pitch of the bottom of the 7th, game-winning home run. Caleb Teedy on the ground. Edwards Benner throws him out, and it's a quick 10-pitch 1-2-3 top of the second for Blake Cyan. Midland, Michigan on its way to the semis, but trying to finish off bull play unbeaten. Would be great footage to see you jumping out of the plane, maybe connected to one of them.
And landing on the field to get in the Humvee.
Yeah. Jaden Miskey leads off here in the last of the second and fouls off the first pitch. Teedy gives it a look over there, and he's got it.
A lot of room over there.
So a quick out here in the second for Ben Folio.
We kind of lose him over there because of the dugout.
Here's Gabe Wagoner. Only 1 hit in the first 2 games, but he's got a couple of walks and a couple of runs scored, which is a pretty common thing for this Michigan lineup. They are patient, they get on base, and they have been able to manufacture runs. Still pretty incredible that they were victorious on Friday night, despite the fact they only had 1 hit. They beat Jacksonville 5-4. They were out hit 7-1, and they won the game 5-4.
That was the craziest scoreboard I've ever seen up there, with one hit winning that game.
Just outside, and Wegener still alive. Midland, Michigan is the first place finisher in the Stars division with a win today. They are the second place finisher in the Stars division with a loss. Either way, they're headed to the semis. Gabe Coltman on in left field, 2 away. And just one more run through the math for you, Woody. If Portland loses, they're still in the semis if they allow 6 runs or less. If they allow 7 runs and lose, they would still advance if they score at least 5. So if they lose 7-5 or 7-6, they're okay, because runs scored is the second tiebreaker. Jay Roper fouls it off. But if they allow more than 7 and lose, then Jacksonville advances. And if it's a 7-4 final score exactly, then there'd be a 3-way tie with the 3 teams at 1 and 2, and both Portland and Jacksonville would have allowed 16 runs and scored 15 runs, and then it would become a coin flip. And I don't think in the history of American Legion baseball there's ever been a coin flip, so it's not out of the question. Line into center field, and Roper has the first hit of the game for Midland, Michigan. They've matched their hitting output in the entirety of Friday's game, which is a crazy thing to say.
Yes, it is.
In a game that they won 5-4.
And the hit was a sac bunt that just nobody come and got. But they won. That's all that matters.
Here's Aryan Punjabi. Coming into Shelby, swinging a hot bat. He lines the first pitch out to right center. Ha gets it in quick. Up to second goes Roper. Back-to-back 2-out singles on consecutive pitches for Roper and Punjabi. And the number 8 hitter, Owen Dominowski, coming up next.
Well, as you said, Punjabi staying hot. He was the MVP of that regional.
So Ben Folio seemingly cruising along. 5 up, 5 down, and now a couple pitches both end up hits up the middle. Johnny King trots out to the mound for a chat.
Here comes Joe Duran out too.
Perhaps talking about defensive game plan here. Certainly the folks in Shelby are getting familiar with the Barbers. They know Midland, Michigan so well from 11 appearances in the past 18 years in the World Series and a bunch in the last 16 years since it's been in here in Shelby every year. But the Barbers went to the same church this morning that they went to last year on Sunday morning, the Elizabeth Baptist Church. Had a great experience. And I think that there is a little bit of a more relaxed feel, I think, from Joe Duran and his staff. And only 2 guys back from last year's team, so it is a pretty new experience for most of the Barbers.
But he learned a lot from being here last year and how to handle himself and how things going on.
So 2 on, 2 gone, bottom of the second. Dominowski takes strike 1. Nick Stevens is the home plate umpire. Matt Saramelli at first. Jay DeSantis at second. Mike Wagner has the calls at third. Oh, 1. And it hits him. Johnny King, the catcher, was pointing toward the bat, saying it hit the bat, but Nick Stevens, the umpire, not buying the argument, and the bases are suddenly loaded here with 2 outs. Yeah, that hit the top of the number 4 and the number 14 on his jersey. Under the shoulder blade.
That will not feel good.
So the number 9 hitter, Kyler Smith, with the bases loaded and 2 outs. There's been talk in recent years about embracing the golden batter rule. I mean, this would be a good spot for a golden batter. We'll see what the number 9 hitter, Kyler Smith, can do. Kyler's 1 for 4. He's walked once as well. And he pops this one out to center. Andrew Ha settles and snares it. And the bases are left loaded. So the Barbers breeze perfection. All right, to the 3rd inning we go. Siam back to work, and Johnny King fouls it off. You know, the Jacksonville, Florida squad that's watching from afar, Woody, they need runs in this game. They need Michigan to win, and they need Oregon to give up 7-8 runs to have a chance.
Well, they just had bases loaded, you know, there and couldn't get any runs out of it.
That's high and tight. And did it hit the bat or did it hit the helmet? Looked like it was ruled a foul. And the batter tried to convince the umpire that the sound he heard was the bat hitting the catcher's gear. And I didn't see it. Wow, that's a quick strikeout. What do you see there, Woody?
I didn't see it hit the bat. But
so this is the pitch before the strikeout.
yeah, the bat was nowhere close.
Is it possible the bat grazed the glove as it was coming down? And can it be catcher's interference if you're not swinging?
Great question. Never seen it before.
I feel like Johnny King got the raw end of the stick right there.
He did, didn't he? I was just wondering if they called foul ball because the bat was nowhere near the ball.
I mean, they called foul ball, and the umpire put up 2 as if to say 2 strikes.
Interesting.
And then the next pitch was strike 3.
Because he did everything perfect the way you teach it, pull the barrel down.
There are a lot of levels of baseball where I think what just happened would lead to an argument or at least a conversation on the field. One of the things about Legion ball, there is a respect for the umpires, and you don't always like their calls, but you very rarely see big arguments, big outbursts. At third base, it's Roper. From his knees, he gets up and throws wide of the bag at first. Tregesser is safe with a one-out single.
Well, Roper probably saved a double down the line, but made a great play and had an opportunity to get up and throw him out, but just off a little bit.
Wow. This is getting called an error, Woody. I already wrote down single in my scorebook.
I think once she sees it, she'll look at it.
Andrew Ha struck out looking in the first, so he comes out swinging in his one out at bat with a runner aboard here in the third. How about those batting gloves?
Everybody wears them flashy things now. Well, heck, I had a highlighter shirt on earlier today. What can I say?
I like those batting gloves, and even more, I think my daughters would love those batting gloves. Runner going. Easy stolen base for Jaden Tregesser. It's his third steal in 3 tries here at the American Legion World Series.
Yeah, and them shoes too right there. Them nice pink shoes look good.
Barber's sporting the red jerseys and the pastel everything else. 2-1. That's down low, and that gets by the catcher Nieto, and up to third goes Tregesser.
I don't think he got crossed up. Nope, he just didn't get down quick enough.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
Infield is in for Midland. Portland looking to take the lead. Ball 4 up high to Ha. Runners at the corners with one away for Raiden Nakamura.
And Barbers are right where they want to be right here.
Nakamura heads down for a chat with Joe Duran. Duran in his 16th season leading this program that he helped to found in 2010. Duran played baseball at Portland State. He also had an offer to play football at the University of Utah. He was a first-team All-City running back and defensive back in high school football, but has taken a baseball path.
Loves American Legion baseball, Evan.
2021 inductee into the Portland Interscholastic League Hall of Fame. Got a couple of Hall of Famers leading these two teams today. Cronkite inducted into the Central Michigan Hall of Fame in 2006. Runner going from first, square to bunt, nothing doing on the swing. Ha takes second for his second steal of the series. And now with first base open.
I wouldn't think they would walk him to face Coltman, but
infield is in all around for Midland. 2-0 to Nakamura.
so, Evan, what I like about this, though, a lot of guys bring their infield in. They're all the way up in the grass. You can see their infield's in the dirt, actually. You have plenty of time.
There's ball 3. I mean, at the count 3-0 right now, it looks like he's kind of pitching around him.
Yeah.
What do you think about bringing the infield in when it's 0-0 in the third inning?
I don't know what's going through Dan's. I don't know. I really don't. Unless he's just working on something, but I mean.
That pitch barely missed. It's ball 4. So the bases are loaded for the Barbers, cleanup hitter Gabe Coltman.
And they got Mr. Love warming up in the bullpen there for Michigan. Landon Love.
I mean, Gabe Coltman coming up, 6'5", 230 pounds. Joe Duran believes that he is one of the best power hitters in the entire country. He had 3 home runs in the series last year.
You know, in talking about their program there at Oregon, he's had 60 D1 kids since he started that program, and he's got 17 now on D1 rosters.
It's been a very successful program, winning almost 75% of their games since it started in 10. All right. Breaking ball gets away, but not far enough from Nieto for any advance. Ball 1 to Coltman.
And talking with Joe Duran, heck, his room's right next to mine. But Coltman, he feels like he's kind of pressing, and he's been swinging at pitches he don't really need to swing at and trying to do a little too much.
1-0. Strike 1 on the corner.
But he had 2 hits yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, in yesterday's game, and it was one hit, and swung the bat well. Sack fly, if I remember right.
On Friday. They were at the amusement park yesterday.
Well, Friday, excuse me, apologize.
You're good. That's just inside, 2-1.
They kind of all go together.
Yeah, I hear you. Next pitch will be the 50th for Blake Cyan. 20 pitches in the first inning, only 10 in the second. And his 20th pitch here in the third is strike 2 in there to Coltman. 2-2. Bases full of Barbers. Middle infield at double play depth. Coltman ready. And he foul tips it to stay alive. 2-2 breaking ball there from Cyan.
He opened up on that pitch trying to hit it over the left field fence.
Another 2-2. Tapped it foul down the third baseline. I mean, you said that Coach Duran said he was pressing, and you said during a break that when he swung at the first pitch last time he was up, felt like little out of sorts.
Yeah. You know, but you got to look at it too. He's probably been thrown around and intentionally walked all year, and he hit 10 home runs or 11 home runs on the year, I think.
Fouled off again, the third straight foul ball for Gabe Coltman. Tregesser the runner at third, Ha at second, Nakamura at first. Scoreless for the moment. And the fourth straight foul for Coltman.
Next pitch will be pitch number 9 in this at bat. We got to see if he's going to try to waste one right here. Maybe a breaking ball down and away, or he can go hard in.
11 homers during the regular season for Coltman. He fouls it off for a 5th consecutive time.
Well, he was going down and away with a breaking ball, but the breaking ball, he got it over middle part of the plate. Got lucky.
No Portland Barber in the history of this Legion program has more hits, more homers, more runs driven in than Gabe Coltman. There's a 6th consecutive foul ball for the Big Bopper.
I like that.
Maybe this is the type of battle that he needed to lock back in. This is like batting practice.
Yeah.
The 11th pitch of the at-bat. The 7th consecutive foul ball. Are you going to send Gabe Coltman a bill for all these baseballs that he's turning into souvenirs?
Who's going to win this battle?
the best battle we've seen at the World Series so far. Here's the 12th pitch. And it's on the ground to third. Roper coming home with it. Did he catch the plate? No! Nieto didn't land on the dish, and everybody's safe. Woody, it could have been a 5-4-3 double play. Instead, they come for the plate, and instead there's nobody out on that play. Just one out in the inning.
Well, Caden tried to stay on the thing, but it was a little high, a little off. And we got a great view of his foot up here where we're at. And it just pulled his foot off, and he couldn't get it back down.
Yeah, clearly no doubt about it. So E5 on the throw, 1-0 Portland.
And what you tell your third baseman on a play like that, whichever way the ball takes you is where you go.
So you don't have any problem with him coming home with it?
This early in the game. But, I mean, if it's bringing him that way, but if it takes you toward third, step on the back, go to first. If it's going toward second, go 5-4-3 double play. But whichever way it takes you.
So officially, that's the second error on Roper at third base this inning. 0-2 pitch toward the second base bag. The shortstop, Edwards Benner, steps on the base, but can't complete the double play. Another run scores. It's 2-0 Portland on the RBI ground out for Cal Gradwall. Nakamura over to third on the play.
You thought he was just going to be right on top of the bag. But you got to give him credit for busting it down that line.
No doubt. Gradwall clearly beats it out. Runner goes from first, throw down to second, wide of the bag. No Portland base runner has been thrown out trying to steal a base yet here in Shelby. They were 6 for 6 the first couple of games. They're 3 for 3 in this inning alone. 0-1 to Nolan Folio outside.
Well, that stolen base was on Blake Cyan.
Yeah. 2 outs here in the top of the third. And a long inning for Blake Cyan. Next pitch of this inning will be the 35th. It was 12 pitches alone. Third of those 35 pitches came against Coltman. Off the end of the bat, but a leaping catch at second base. Jimmy Sequin is there. And the side is retired. Barbers do some damage. They get 2. They also strand 2 in scoring position after 2.5. 2-0 Portland leads Midland, Michigan. Here's a look at the brewing bracket. We know that Michigan will be either the Stars winner or the Stars runner-up, pending the outcome today. Tupelo, Mississippi will be the Stripes winner, playing in the 4 o'clock semifinal on ESPNU. Lincoln, Nebraska, the runner-up in the Stripes division after their do-or-die victory earlier today against White House, New Jersey. To the last of the third, and Ben Folio pitching with a little run support for the first time. Gets a swing and a miss from Tabor Edwards Benner. Strike 2 in there to Edwards Benner. Woody, officially, Oregon doesn't have a hit yet. They didn't hit the ball out of the infield last inning. We thought that Jaden Tregesser had a base hit in the play that Roper had to dive on, but it was ruled an error by our official score. So officially 2 runs on no hits for Oregon, which is Midland, Michigan-esque.
Oh, goodness. We've seen that several times here, haven't we?
Off the end of the bat. Pretty well hit to right field. But Nakamura takes care of it. Second fly ball to right for Tabor Edwards Benner. He's still looking for his first hit here at the World Series. He's now 0 for 7. He has walked 3 times and scored twice. This Portland, Oregon team, if they could go all the way, they'd be the first Oregon team since 1969 to win the American Legion World Series. Portland Post 105 beat Towson, Maryland, and Hastings, Nebraska in the 1969 ALWS.
The Miracle Mets.
It's been a long time since the Mets have experienced miracles. Joe Durant coming out to the mound to check on Folio here. You following the baseball news? Obviously sad news. I heard you and Phil talk about the passing of Tommy John, who will be remembered forever. I think he'll be remembered more for the surgery than the pitcher, but he's remembered for the surgery because the surgery was such a unprecedented success.
Yes, it was.
He had such a great career after the surgery.
I never got a chance to meet Tommy John, but just in the baseball world, it's not that big.
Did you have the surgery?
No, I've never. Never. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Farm. Throw all day long, every day.
I know you threw BP a couple times before the series started. Have you thrown it all the last few days?
I haven't. I'm sure I'll probably end up throwing it to somebody tomorrow. Whoever asks.
Woody's available. And his arm is live. If you went to the mound right now and threw your hardest, what's the hardest you would throw without injuring yourself? You're not allowed to injure yourself.
I don't know if I top 82 or 3.
Fouled off for the left by Sequin.
But I could put it on a dime, though. I could spot it. Oh, yeah.
Still got that command. Tommy John did have a Legion Ball history, post 346, Terre Haute, Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were they just in the? Was that who was just in the?
They were in the
Michigan
regional.
had to beat to get here.
That is correct. Strike 3 called, and Sequin down looking for the second time. You're right, Woody. Midland won the first 3 games of their regional, and then they lost to Terre Haute 11-5. They avenged that loss, a 10-2 win to claim the regional title once again in the Great Lakes. Regionals were a little different this year around the country. Some regionals only had 6 teams instead of the normal 8. Slightly different format as Caden Nieto flies to right. Raiden Nakamura puts it away. And for the second time today, the top of this Midland lineup goes 1-2-3 against Ben Folio. We head to the 4th. Great voice as well. He's got some pipes.
He does. I mean, one of the best all-time managers ever, and he was a good one. He was a player's manager. Everybody that played for him loves him, and you can see why.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today, Woody, is that we have 3 years to celebrate the 100th American Legion World Series, and here's why. Last year was the 100th anniversary of the founding of the American Legion Baseball, 1925. This year is the 100th anniversary of the first American Legion World Series in 1926. And next year will be the 100th American Legion World Series, this being the 99th. So it's kind of crazy that we got 3 consecutive years of celebrating a centennial. And look, centennials are cool.
Yeah, absolutely. American Legion Baseball is a lot of fun.
Have you heard any whispers about special stuff that's coming down the pike for the 100th American Legion World Series?
Not yet. And I'm sure they got all kinds of stuff going on.
They got about 361 days to get all the details ironed out before we're back in Shelby next August.
And it will be a different look here with the turf on the field.
Yeah, it'll be a big change. Ben Folio leads off here in the top of the 4th. It's a must-win game for Portland, although if they lose, they could still advance. If they give up 6 runs or less, Ben Folio on the mound has done a great job. Strike 2 in there from Cyan, who's back out on the mound after a 35-pitch third inning.
10 or 11 of those was to Coltman.
12.
12.
In fact, yeah. 7 straight foul balls from Coltman in that battle. And I like to think Cyan won the battle because he got the ground ball that could have been the inning double play, and instead an error, and nobody retired on that play.
Right.
To first base, Miski to his right, gets to the bag and wins the foot race against Folio. 1 gone here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Miski's had it pretty rough over there at first, but great play going there to his right. And pitcher just a little late getting over there, so he had to rush to get to the bag.
Here's Caleb Teedy. Grounded out to Edwards Benner at short to end the 2nd inning. Teedy looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2 now. Limited opportunities at the plate.
Well, we were talking in the opening about what's Midland Michigan going to do with pitching and everything, and you and I talked in the last couple of innings. They have a lot of pitching.
Yeah,
have a lot of pitching. He had a plan coming in. I didn't get a chance to talk to him this morning, but I'm sure after this right here that they're going to use everybody just to where they'll be available tomorrow, according to how they need them.
There's drama with the pitch counts in the Lincoln White House game earlier today, with Fisher Irons reaching the 105 pitch limit in the top of the bottom of the 6th. So there were still 6 outs to get. And man, Kalai Larson was good coming over from shortstop to pitch the 6th and the 7th.
He did.
Electric.
I think he may have struck out 5 guys if I remember right.
Yep.
But his stuff was electric, and they had to try to steal. They had runners on first and second with 2 outs. New Jersey did, and he had to even try to make something happen and try to steal third there because he was so hard to hit.
3-2. Fouled off to the right. I believe Larson finished his day at 25 pitches over 2 innings. So he cannot pitch 3 days in a row. You can only pitch twice in 3 days. But if Michael Lonick wants to use him tomorrow in the semis, he can, or he could have him in the finals. He could pitch in one of those 2 games. Right. To third, Roper on target, 2 away. I'll be honest with you, Woody. I don't know if I've been more impressed with a pitcher since Thursday than watching Kalai Larson. Now, maybe it's just because I was down sitting right behind the net as opposed to being up here in the booth with you, and I was more focused on it. But did anything stand out to you about the way Larson threw the ball? Ball
just jumped out of his hand. He had a good slider, which actually made the fastball better. But he got those several strikeouts on that slider down and away. But man, I tell you what, if Florida's able to get, Florida has some good pitching.
Florida's only going to be seen from again if Michigan can score a bunch of runs.
Mississippi, they're going to have all their guys back.
Yep.
Mississippi's got some good pitching and good hitting. And
I think you could argue Tupelo's the favorite right now.
Yeah.
They know that they're in the first semifinal tomorrow. They're 2-0. They've played very, very well.
And what happens in the game tonight after this one really don't matter at all.
If Michigan were able to come back and put a lot of runs on the board, it would create a rematch of the middle of the night, midnight game that we had Thursday night into Friday.
Yeah.
That's what Jacksonville's hoping for. Here comes the 1-2 from Cyan. High and away. Johnny King still alive.
And Johnny King, somebody that came the other day, pitched 5 innings, didn't give up a run coming in relief. Nakamura. And I was trying to remember how many pitches he threw. I don't have my paper in front of me, but when he'll be able to come back if he is.
Cyan deals another 2-2 and runs the count full. 2-0 lead for Oregon. Officially, the Barbers still do not have a hit, but they've got the lead. That is low, and it's a 2-out walk for Johnny King. It's the 4th walk issued by Blake Cyan so far today. They just changed courtesy runners?
Courtesy runners, number 16.
They're really trying to confuse you, Woody.
Yes, they are.
This is Nick Souza instead. What's the protocol for a courtesy runner getting all the way to first base and then getting pulled back into the dugout?
I'm still learning the courtesy runner stuff myself.
Portland lost in the semis last year 7-3 to the eventual national champions from Chesapeake, Virginia. That's down and away, 2-0. Turgesser has not made an out yet. He walked in the first, he singled, or I should say he reached on an error in the third. And it looks like he's headed to another walk. 3-0.
And this may be it for Blake Cyan.
About to throw his 90th pitch. And it's ball 4 to Turgesser. Steve Woodard, I take no pleasure in telling you this. That was the 100th walk of the American Legion World Series. This is midway through game number 11.
Wow. And Ron Longstreth going out, making the change.
So Cyan's day is done, and that will take us to break with Oregon in front 2-0, 2 on, 2 out, top of the. The days run together, the years run together, and it's always special being here. Tuesday night will crown the 99th American Legion World Series champion. Swing and a miss, and Love gets Ha to chase strike 1. We know the champion will either be from Tupelo, Mississippi, Lincoln, Nebraska, Midland, Michigan, Portland, Oregon, or Jacksonville, Florida. One of those 5 teams. After the season began with about 3,000 teams.
2,989 to be exact.
I read that over 10 million people have played American Legion baseball since it started in 1925.
Wow. I was one of them. A lot of baseball, a lot of fun.
Over 90 former Legion ball players have been inducted into the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame. 1-2. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So a deuces wild situation here, Woody. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on in a 2-0 game to Portland's number 2 hitter.
The spot where Hemsley is usually sitting at.
And the count runs full. So King at second base and Turgesser at first can get a head start on this next pitch.
And I was going to tell you right here too. So Minnesota leads all the states with, it's actually 389. Nebraska 278, Pennsylvania 273, Wisconsin 206.
You're talking the number of
teams in each state.
Runners go, swing and a miss, strike 3, down goes Ha. And Landon Love gets out of the jam, strands a couple of runners, and keeps it a 2-run game. Midway through this 11th penultimate pool play game, 2-0. Portland 2, Midland 0. Although it's Midland 2, Portland 0 in the hit column.
Some strange line scores here.
We saw the 100th walk of the American Legion World Series in the top of the 4th. We are closing in on the record total for errors as well. It has been sloppy at times and yet highly competitive. The game earlier today was one of the best of the tournament thus far. That ball hammered foul down the left field line by Jaden Miskey.
Yeah, New Jersey's played some great games here.
No doubt.
Had a chance to go and speak to Steve before they left to go. With New Jersey going to be going home, it was a great time to meet him and have a chance to be able to talk to him about some baseball. He was a great guy, man.
0-2. High pop foul. That'll get out of play, I think. Graball gives it a look over there, but has no play. Again, if the score holds, Portland is moving on, and they would win their division. With a win, Portland and Michigan would both be 2-1, and Portland would have the head-to-head advantage. Off the handle to the shortstop, Nolan Folio.
His brother.
So the folks from Jacksonville can't be feeling that great right now. They came into today needing Michigan to score a lot. Even if Michigan won, as long as Portland allowed 6 runs or fewer, so a 5-0 game, a 5-4 game, anything like that, and it's Portland moving on no matter what. This Portland Barbers program had not been to the World Series before as a regional champ until last year. And they're trying to get to the semis for the 2nd season in a row. And right now, Folio's got a good rhythm going, although there's the 1-out single for Gabe Wegener. Little looping liner, softly hitting the right field over Tregesser. Snaps a string of 5 straight Midland, Michigan batters retired. Wegener has his 2nd hit here at the American Legion World Series. That's another knock. Jay Roper has his 2nd hit of the game. His 4th of the World Series as he scoots Wegener up to 2nd. 2 on with 1 away here in the 4th. So Folio surrenders back-to-back singles. And right on cue, the folks from Jacksonville, Florida have their rally caps on.
And Joe Duran's going to go out.
That was interesting. Jaden Tregesser tried to wave Duran back to the dugout. Said, no, 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 and waved him away. And Duran paused for a minute and said, no, I'm going to continue out there. You don't see that too often.
No, you know, this is different. Like me coaching, you know, I only get 4 visits. So, you know, anytime I go out there after the last one, I got to take a picture out every time. So you only get a certain amount of visits. A little different here.
Did you appreciate a visit from a pitching coach mid-inning to slow things down, or was it more annoying when they would come out?
You know, they never come out and say anything. They just come out and hey, look who's here at the game today up in the stands or something like that. Something funny to, like, you know, make you relax a little bit.
2 on, 1 away for Punjabi. Strike 1 called over the inner half.
Rick Majerus, which used to be, you know, the Utah basketball coach.
Yeah.
He was from Milwaukee, and he had season tickets like 10 rows up behind the third base dugout, and he was always there during the summer.
Really?
Yeah. We come out, there's Rick Majerus.
Who was the? Oh, this catcher's interference.
Yeah.
He's going to load the bases. Goes as an E2. Just when you thought you'd seen everything here at this year's American Legion World Series, CI ticked off the glove. So they're loaded up for Owen Dominowski. Folio fires and drills for strike 1. I was going to ask, was there ever a celebrity at one of your games that you were really excited about?
I mean, there's always, you know, in the big leagues, there's always, people coming through the clubhouse and hanging out, saying hello.
0-1. That's upstairs.
You always had to keep a football on hand, a basketball. You had to keep a guitar or something like that in case whoever came in to get something autographed.
In case, you know, the equivalent of Taylor Swift shows up.
Yeah. I think some of the best when I played in Cleveland, Jim told me. So Bobby Knight, you know, they were friends. Bobby Knight would be in the clubhouse. Dick Vitale's been in the clubhouse.
Cool. 0-1. That's down low, ball and a strike. All the fans in Jacksonville and the players from Florida perhaps feeling a little optimistic that Michigan can put a crooked number on the board here. That's high and away, 2-1 to Dominowski.
And nobody warming up in the bullpen, I don't think. I couldn't see anybody.
Players in the Michigan dugout shaking their caps, ready for a rally. 3-1, in there for a called strike 2, full count. Michigan's dugout trying to will a base hit with the bases loaded, but they can't do it. Dominowski strikes out. 2 away here in the 4th.
Yeah, big strikeout there for Ben Folio. You know, as a pitcher, what we talk about, the only time you ever really want to try to strike somebody out was a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Big pitch there for Ben.
And so now for the second time today, Kyler Smith comes to bat. He's the number 9 hitter. It's the second time he steps in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Last time he flew out to Andrew Ha in center. Ben Folio trying to strand him loaded for the second time. Foul ball, strike 1. King gives it a look but has no play. Big moment in this game.
Yeah.
Wegener at third, Roper at second, Punjabi at first. Folio deals 0-1. Strike 2 called. So now Smith in a hole. The Midland Berry Hill left fielder. Ready for the 0-2 offering from Folio. Swing and a miss. And they leave him loaded again. Back-to-back strikeouts from Ben Folio to wriggle out of that jam in the 4th.
He loved it.
The overhang creating a little different complexion. Raiden Nakamura leads off for a Portland team that's up 2-0. Michigan has left the bases loaded in the second and the fourth. Woody?
This is really the first time all week that we've seen shadows, because it's either been raining at this point in time or cloudy. It's just tough to pick up spin with it like that.
There's room and foul ground over here for Miski, and he dropped it. My goodness. That's strike two. We'll see if they put another error up on the board. He was there underneath it and seemingly had it.
Man.
Remember, there was a ball down that area the other day that Fairfield, California didn't take care of, and White House, New Jersey's Kellen Comline hit the next pitch for a home run that won the game 3-2.
Very next pitch,
So far, no error has been put up on the board. Reasonable minds could disagree. 0-2. Foul back. Later tonight, that Fairfield, California team that lost two really close ball games, 4-2 and 3-2. Will try to get a win over a Tupelo, Mississippi team that hasn't lost yet, but doesn't have anything to play for tonight in terms of their semifinal seeding and position tomorrow.
The California team's going to be good. They had, heck, they had a 15-year-old start their first game.
And look, 25, 30, 40 years from now, think about the boys from Bedford, New Hampshire. They're going to be talking about Jason Toff's walk-off home run forever. On the ground is second. Sequin flips it over to Miski, and they get Nakamura, who cannot take advantage of his second life.
Really, we wouldn't have had to see Jason Topp hit a home run if it wouldn't have been, there was two drop pop flies in that inning by the first baseman, and then there was another one that was dropped over here at third base or was never caught.
Wild game.
Yes. We give Florida credit. They came back, scored those runs, and made it a game.
Coltman unable to check his swing on that breaking ball in the dirt. Well hit to center field. Dominowski on the run. Runs it down. I'll tell you, Woody, I like Landon Love. I mean, he's not fancy, but he's crafty, and I guess crafty lefty is those two words are often used hand in hand.
Yeah.
But he's been effective.
Those strikes, changes speeds, a little different look. He's a little taller. I think he's 6'3". Yeah, 6'3", 215.
Just graduated from Beaverton High School. The only Beaverton product on this Midland team this year. And on his way to Grand Rapids Community College, as Woody mentioned. He's not great at buttoning his jersey, but other than that, he's been very, very effective.
Talking with Caden Nieto, all these kids, growing up, they always see this, the Berry Hill shirts and jerseys and stuff around town. And, that's what they, grow up wanting to play, wanting to be a part of. I was lucky enough I had a kid that actually played on Midland, Michigan's team for Dan Cronkite that came down and played for me in Alabama at Bevel State. Mm-hmm. And tells you how much I know about baseball. I signed him as a pitcher. He threw hard, good pitcher, but he ended up hitting 16 home runs and hitting 390 for me. Tanner Sontag.
Sounds like brilliant coaching.
Brilliant coaching. He could swing it. Was a big part of everything that we're doing down there and turning that program around.
3-1. Drops in for strike 2. What does the fall look like for you as a junior college baseball coach?
28 games. You have 14 days, so 28 games. And guys got into school yesterday, moved in.
Line to short. Tabor Edwards-Benner is there. Barbers go 1-2-3 in the 5th. They still don't have a hit, but they still have a 2-0 lead. Woody, quick off the top of your head, when was the last shutout in the American Legion World Series?
Jacob Sear.
No.
20. No.
Well,
it was the championship.
The championship game last year was what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But Sear,
no hitter.
Yeah, and it wasn't a single shutout. It was a team shutout, but Chesapeake's Ty Woods relieved Charlie Hogan in the 7th. So I think we're both right, because I think Sear had the complete game shutout against Lincoln, Nebraska.
And it's funny, Jacob Sear's dad texted me earlier today and said, hope all is going well, watching y'all on ESPN and everything.
That's cool.
And then good note here, Kyler Thompson, I don't know if you remember the center fielder.
Of course.
For those, got drafted by the Dodgers. I didn't realize that.
That's awesome. Speaking of the Dodgers, high fly ball out to left for Tabor Edwards-Benner. That's over the head of Coltman out there. And Edwards-Benner grooves into second base. It is a leadoff double for Midland, Michigan's shortstop here in the 5th. That's his first hit of the American Legion World Series after he had been 0 for 7.
Yeah, his first hit. He's been playing great defense. Coleman did a great job of playing that off the wall and getting it in quick.
Here comes Jimmy Sequin. I was going to say, speaking of the Dodgers, last year's American Legion World Series champion Chesapeake, Virginia team went to the World Series at Dodger Stadium. They saw Game 4. They were down on the field before the game when Shohei Ohtani walked by them. They got all excited. The coolest part of their trip, though, might have been flying in. They landed super late. And Larry Bowles, out the window of his plane as the plane was descending, saw Chavez Ravine, saw Dodger Stadium, and saw fireworks. And they had the game on their phones on the plane. About 10 seconds later, Freddie Freeman hit the home run on their phones. He literally, there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
Think about the timing of that.
That's awesome.
Is that cool or what? It's one of the great traditions. Every year since 1926, the team that wins the American Legion World Series gets to go to the World Series. It's like a big family reunion. You celebrate, you get honored on the video board. They might not have been honored on the video board in 1926, I can't confirm, but in 2026, you get honored. That's a foul ball.
And then the other thing is whoever is player of the year for American Legion. So at the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, which I did the event for like 7 years for the Brewers. And that's how I kind of got involved in this, by meeting Gary Stone and Steve Cloud. But they take the player of the year there to the event that goes on at the Hall of Fame. And it's a real good time.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jimmy Sequin. Folio deals and misses away. Full count as he gets set to throw his 65th, or he just threw his 66th pitch of the day.
And we'll shout out here Gary Stone and Gloria. Gary's usually the tournament director here and been doing this for I do not know how long. It's just you're not able to be with us this year and is at home watching, I'm sure, on ESPN.
Send him all the best.
Good man.
Foul. So the other thing about that Chesapeake team from last year, remember they had 2 guys who were going to be first years at VMI. They had to leave the team. They didn't have their phones for like a week after they got to go to school. Their phones were taken away. So they didn't know the results that Chesapeake had won it all for 4 or 5 days, until 4 or 5 days after Chesapeake had actually won. That's up the middle, a base hit for Sequin. Here comes Edwards Benner around. Encouraging news for Jacksonville. Throw to second, and taking second base, Sequin. It's 2-1 here in the 5th. Second RBI here in Shelby for Jimmy Sequin.
Don't count them out yet. There's 1 run up on the board. Good job by Jimmy Sequin running bases.
Slow stroll to the mound for Joe Duran. See if he's going to make a change. But Larry Bowles told me that about 4 or 5 days after they won, the guys finally got their phones, and it was like they won the World Series again, because they finally responded, and it was just like a huge eruption. And those 2 guys did get to attend the World Series game with the team.
That's awesome.
Out at Dodger Stadium. A special, unforgettable experience.
And what a venue too, Dodger Stadium. I grew up a Dodgers fan growing up. That's a beautiful place.
I almost was going to ask you if you've been there, but that would have been a dumb question. I actually saw a no-hitter there.
Really?
It was the most forgettable no-hitter in history. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Nieto steps in, takes a strike. I think it was Cubs-Dodgers. The Cubs were obviously the visitors. The Dodgers had no hits, but the Cubs used like 6 or 7 different pitchers, and the game was full of walks and errors. So the Dodgers had base runners in almost every inning. The Cubs, some of the guys on the team didn't even realize it was a no-hitter because there had been so many base runners. It was bizarre. Kind of like this game's a little bizarre.
Yeah.
2-1 on the scoreboard where it counts. 6-0 on the scoreboard in the hit department. Tying run at second base for Midland, Michigan. Caden Nieto fouls it back. Woody, I think it's fair to say, tell me if you think this is wrong, Michigan would rather lose this game 2-1 than have it be 2-2 going to the 8th.
So they have to use more pitching and figure out a way to.
Would you agree with that?
Probably so. But I'm sure they can find somebody out on that field to, to pitch.
Yeah, that's fair. Chop softly to third. Gradwall across the diamond for the first out of the inning. Sequin advances over to third.
Evan, we're talking about, people at home, we're talking about the scoreboard. If we scroll on down there as we go, this is where it gets very interesting. And when you're looking at that 2-0-1 and 1-6-3. Goodness.
I kid you not, Woody. When I was a kid, I used to think, and I knew this wasn't the case, but I used to pretend that the errors column was worth 1 point, the hits column was worth 10 points, and the runs column was worth 100 points.
Why?
So, like, the score right now would be 201 to 163. They got a comfortable 38-point lead. I can't be the only kid that went to a minor league baseball game and thought that. Here's the 0-2. Mieske chops it right side. That'll tie the ball game. Sneaks through the hole in between TD and Tregesser. And Portland's lead has disappeared here in the last of the 5th.
Just kind of went with what he gave him. Made up for that drop pop fly a few minutes ago.
And now just that 1 hit and 1 run they got added an extra 110 points. So now it's a Michigan leading 273 to 201.
And Florida loves that.
Yeah, Florida needs a lot more offense from Midland, Michigan, because a 3-2 or even 5-2 or 6-2 Michigan win does Jacksonville no good.
But no matter what happens, I want to say, you know, Corey Goff, I mean, what a great job. It was so, I enjoyed talking with him, being around him. And, man, the Florida guys, I mean, they have a great team.
They exceeded your expectations.
They're going to be, they could have been 3-0 like that. You know, just to play here or play there. But a great bunch of guys, and, you know, the coaches, I mean, it was a joy to talk to, get to know.
They're not done yet. Runner goes, 0-2 pitch outside, throwing through, but it's a stand-up stolen base. Jaden Miskey scoots up to second.
And you can see Dan Cronkite told him slide. Make sure you slide, because he went in standing up.
1-2. Line to center. Miskey wasn't sure that it was going to get through, though, so he did not break immediately. He will not score. He stops at third. That's the fourth hit of the inning for Midland, Michigan.
Yeah, Miskey had to see that ball through, make sure it wasn't, you know, caught by anybody. And
if he breaks off the crack of the bat here, I think he scores.
He does, but he had to make sure that it got through, especially with one out.
This is a mound meeting without the coach. Joe Duran stays in the dugout. The entire Barber infield comes together. There's a lot to consider here for Joe Duran, because you want to save your best pitching, your best relievers for tomorrow, but you also have to take care of business and get the job done here.
Yeah, you got to keep them from scoring, or you don't get to play tomorrow. And then on the other hand, Dan Cronkite, he can work on things and do things he normally he wouldn't do usually.
Inside, did it hit him? Apparently it grazed the jersey. Certainly not worried about Jay Roper's well-being after he got hit by that pitch. But by rule, if any part of the baseball grazes any part of the jersey, let's take a look. The edge of the sleeve.
It's hard to tell from that right there when you see. Yeah, you can see it move.
So the bases are suddenly loaded. And the boys from Jacksonville, Florida are getting excited. Meanwhile, Folio is not having the same effect in his third trip through the lineup that he had in his first two trips. Bases full of Midland base runners. Punjabi pops it foul. Back behind home plate, King watches it sail over the rooftop. The one hit with the bases loaded, the Caden Nieto grand salami here on Thursday. Only one out, infield at double play depth all the way around. The pitch. High fly ball to left, but he didn't get all of it. Coltman underneath it has it for out number 2. And Miskey tags and scores to make it a 3-2 Michigan lead. And that's good news for Midland. but not as good news as it could have been for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Punjabi just missed it.
Yes, he did. What a great kid. He's helped me out with a lot of stuff at the hotel over the last few days. Had a chance to talk with him a little bit this morning.
I know he
again.
fixed the computer for you before the event started. What has he done for you the past 2 days?
He's just a nice kid. We talked today a little bit downstairs.
This is popped up in the infield. TD takes care of it. The first baseman makes the catch, and the side is retired. 3 runs for Michigan, and they take the lead. Well, Oregon still does not have a hit. They had a 2-0 lead through the top half of the 5th, but then Michigan gets 3 in the bottom of the 5th. And it's a 3-2 lead for Midland, post 165. 7 of the 8 Michigan hits have been singles. Tabor Edwards-Benner, the lone extra base hit, he led off the 5th with a double and scored the first of Midland's 3 runs. So here's the situation for Oregon. If they lose 3-2, they don't win their pool, but they are moving on. They will go 1-2 in pool play, but have the fewest runs allowed of the teams that are tied and advance. But if they give up 4 more runs, then they could be eliminated. Then it could come down to the second tiebreaker. If they gave up exactly 4 more runs, we talked about it earlier, if they lose 7-2, they're eliminated. If they lose 7-5, they're moving on. If they lose 7-4, coin toss.
Coin toss.
Do you have a coin ready?
I'm sure they'll have one ready for them.
So, and if they win the game, no matter what the score is, they're moving on. So I think their goal was to win the game, obviously. But Midland, good team, and they're not going away. Here's Nolan Folio moving to shortstop today. After Portland lost one of their top guys, Ryan Hemsley.
Going to slide into third, trying to steal third, and looked like it was his shoulder is what we were told.
We've seen a couple players unfortunately get dinged up.
Yeah.
Braden Edmiston got hurt yesterday for Tupelo.
Yeah, I didn't even find out how he is today.
Folio swings and misses, strike 3. And Landon Love picks up another punch out.
Evan, you like Landon Love. He kind of does a little bit of everything, changes speed, throws strikes.
It's like he's losing a button off his jersey every inning.
You know, and you got to wonder with him, you know, he's at pitch 23, next pitch 24. I'm sure they're going to probably get him out of there before he goes over that 30 pitch count.
There's a lot going on with this jersey right now. It's got the Berry Hill shirt underneath, though, representing.
He's just untucked, 3 buttons working, and at least he has a shirt on underneath, right?
Landon Love, one of the 3 guys who was part of the Midland team that made it here as Great Lakes Regional Champs 2 years ago, along with Nieto and Miski.
All he needs is a mustache, and he'll be good.
Pitching from the very edge of the shadow. That shadow will continue to creep out there as we groove into this Sunday evening. Semi-final start tomorrow. Ben Folio's got himself a 1-out walk. First game at 4 o'clock. We know that'll be Tupelo, Mississippi. against either Jacksonville, Portland, or Michigan. 7 p.m. Lincoln, Nebraska against either Michigan or Portland. And the courtesy runner taken over at first base for Folio. Cooper Berta.
Which he pitched great. Day before yesterday.
Love takes a long look and then deals and hits the zone for strike one to Caleb Teedy. Teedy's 0 for 2 today, 0 for 3 in the series. A couple of groundouts. Batting out of the 8th spot for Joe Duran. In the dirt, 1-1. Aside from when the couple of thunderstorms came through, there has not been a lot of wind here in Shelby since Thursday. The flag in center field
sitting still
is virtually motionless.
And you and I both said when you walk outside, it'll hit you like a ton of bricks, the heat.
Yeah, it's hot. It is hot.
Well, I guess, Evan, they're not going to really worry about him. You know, that was pitch number 30. So the next pitch, he'll have to have a day of rest. I know they're on top of it.
Yeah, it's not like they forgot.
So they got a plan.
It still feels strange to say this, but Portland continues to hunt their first hit. Fly ball right center. The outfielders converging, and it's Gabe Wegener taking care of it. 2 men retired here in the 6th. Folio back to first. Here's Johnny King.
Now batting catcher, Johnny King, number 1.
Both these teams were off yesterday, so they missed the Military Appreciation Day where everybody wore their camo jerseys. Of course, Midland's jerseys are camo most of the time.
Yeah.
There's something about this Midland program, the reputation they have built. It's helped them bring in top players from the area year after year after year. You know, a lot of Legion ball coaches, as you know, have to do substantial recruiting and convince kids to play. Dan Cronkright does that as well, but he also has 11 regional champs in 18 years as the credibility.
And a lot of former players to go off of and help with that.
2-0. Strike one. Folio leads from first. I beg your pardon, that's the courtesy runner, Berta. And a high fly ball hit out to left. Kyler Smith back at the wall. He can't get it. This is going to tie the game. Berta's around all the way from first to score. And into second base goes Johnny King. And I got to believe that's the first Portland Barbers hit of the day officially. Now they're calling it an error out on Kyler Smith. Let's take a look. Still no hits, despite this drive to the track.
I don't know. He was underneath.
Yeah, he was. So a 3-3 game. The no-hitter's intact. And the day is done.
And we're going to have a new pitch
for Landon Love. Here comes Nate Schultz. out of the bullpen. Schultz making his second appearance after throwing a little bit here on Thursday. Pitching change in a 3-3 game here in the sixth. Allowed by Love, officially no hits allowed by Cyan. But it's a 3-3 game. I think Portland should go the Michigan route and bunt for a hit here.
It worked.
Michigan winning 5-4 the other day with just one hit. That's going to be a hit, I think, unless Edwards-Benner can make the play. They call him out at first. Oh, my goodness. It was such a close play. We got a pinch hitter. Midland sending Jaden Elford to the plate instead of Owen Dominowski. And Ryan Fry is the new pitcher out of Tigard High School. Earlier today, Joe Duran thought Ryan Fry might start. Pitched really well in the regionals in the clutch. Nolan Folio to his brother Ben, who has switched over to first base.
Yeah, if you're watching Ryan Fry, throws across his body, three-quarter delivery, a little funky delivery, and you said had to have a great regional to be able to get here. He went 6 2/3, Evan. 2 runs.
Here's Kyler Smith in a 3-3 game. It's funny because the greater suspense beyond who's going to win the game is, can Michigan score 4 or 5 more runs?
Yeah.
Because regardless of who wins, if Michigan scores 6 runs or fewer, Oregon's moving on to the semifinals. If they lose, they'd play Tupelo, Mississippi. If they win, they'd play Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't think they really care who they play tomorrow as long as they get to play tomorrow.
Right.
And then you have the team from Jacksonville, Florida, who's just hanging out, hoping. It's got to be an uncomfortable feeling.
Yes, indeed.
Fouled off to the right by Kyler Smith.
If I'm not mistaken,
I beg your pardon. This is Edwards-Benner. Excuse me. And he strikes out.
Wow. A little different. Hides the ball very well.
Now batting, second baseman Jimmy Sequin.
And if I'm not mistaken, he beat a Honolulu, Hawaii team, Olegante, that was here many years ago.
Sure.
That was a team that was sitting over here doing the same thing that Florida's doing. But he shut them down pretty good.
Sequin bats with the bases empty and 2 outs. Fry quickly ahead, 0-2. Fry had a complete game against that Hawaii team. Softly hit to third. Gradwall over to Folio at first. 1-2-3 goes Midland in the 6th. Well, it's a 3-3 game. There's a no-hit. They win, they're 3-0. They win the pool. That part's simple. But if Portland wins, they're in. They win the pool. If Portland loses, but they give up 6 runs or fewer, they would win the 3-team tiebreaker because Bedford gave up a lot of runs in their 2 games, or in their 3 games, I should say. Bedford gave up 11 to Midland, 8 to Portland, and then 7 yesterday to Jacksonville. Jacksonville gave up the 16 runs. Portland, for the moment, has given up 12 runs.
We're going to have a new left fielder, I think, too. Having Keegan Maley.
Yes. Alford pinch hit for Smith. Keegan Malley out in left.
And we're going to have a hitter here. Cooper Berta is going to be hitting right here.
He appeared in the game as a courtesy runner, and now he will try to help Portland take the lead. The Barbers out of post 158. I'd like to make something clear, Woody. If this had been more of a traditional no-hitter, I would not be using the phrase no-hitter as much as I am. It's the number of base runners, the number of runs, the number of walks, the number of errors, and the fact that I thought there was a hit earlier.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a no-hitter because that's what it is, but it's still, you understand, it doesn't feel like it.
The other night we used in the middle, it was 0 for 17.
I would be far more creative in the verbiage if this was Jacob Sear by himself on the mound in the 7th. Of course, when Jacob Sear...
Were you on the call with me during that game?
I was.
Yeah, that was
I got the scorebook. I could pull up the page. My old scorebook that I travel with just for this exact moment. Now you call play-by-play for a minute while I find it.
What a great pitcher he was. Had a great career.
3-2. Fly it out to right center. And that's down for a hit. There's no doubt about it. The Barbers have their first hit of the day.
Well, now we don't have to talk about that anymore.
Now batting right fielder, Ryan Nakamura, number 24.
Cooper Berta, the pinch hit, blooper.
Right over Jimmy Sequin's head.
Nothing cheap about it.
Goes down as a line drive in the books.
That Jacob Sear no-hitter that we've talked about a bunch, 2023 against Cheyenne. Hard ground to third, to second for the out there, on to first, it gets away. Righted Nakamura heads to second, and Midland's going to technically have its 5th error of the game.
And really, no matter how we look at this right here, Oregon's in. Because all it's going to be in the bottom of the 7th is 1 run score to win the game, and unless a grand slam.
The grand slam is the only thing that...
And I would make sure not to give up a grand slam.
Yeah, you walk in the winning run at that point.
Walk in the winning run at that point.
That's a great point, Woody. Didn't think about that, but you are absolutely right.
That'd be the 5th error on the board, too.
Shallow right field, the first baseman out there. Coltman pops up. That Jacob Sear no-no was August 10th, 2023. Sear 7 innings, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 97 pitches, 65 strikes
Ground ball, number 23.
against Cheyenne in a 4-0 League City, Texas victory. And of course, Sear came back later in the tournament and dominated again. We're going to get a pitching change here for Midland with 2 outs in a 3-3 game. Potential go-ahead run at second base. New pitcher coming on for Michigan. And it's Evan King, the 6'2" lefty out of Dow High School.
28 grad, big kid. You know, and Dan taught, he said, still learning how to pitch. He's young. Was 0-1 in the regional. But said he had a bright future ahead of him.
So he took the loss against Terre Haute, but that was their only loss of the regionals, which is why they're still here as the regional champs. I mean, this is the type of guy that Dan Cronkrite thought he was adding to the team to build for the future, because they knew they were very young coming into the season. Not necessarily the same veteran firepower, and they kind of thought it might be a rebuilding year. Of course, that's what Joe Durant thought last year, and they ended up at the World Series for the first time. First pitch for King is a wild one, and it allows Cooper Berta to move over to third. I beg your pardon, that's Nakamura now who replaced him after the fielder's choice. So Nakamura at third on the wild pitch. You know, Woody, in some ways, you know, the only thing at this moment that could prevent Oregon from moving on is a walk-off grand slam. But if Oregon scores here, then potentially a walk-off 3-run homer could hurt them as well.
Yeah.
Or no, it would have to be a grand slam. But if it was tied 4-4, you know what I'm, yeah, then it could be a walk-off 3-run shot. Oh, the things you think about on Sunday evening at the American Legion World Series.
Well, to not even take a chance on that, what would you do? Put him on, put him on, put him on. Technically, you could not even throw a pitch, could you? And score.
You could.
Game over.
But I think if you're Portland, you still want to try to win.
Yeah, oh, I agree. But if it comes down to that situation to where it's...
Well, they're not going to win it in top of the 7th. Because Gradwall strikes out. Portland and Midland, Michigan, tied 3-3. To the last of the 7th we go. And there's a bunch of things going on under the surface. You know, if this was just a pool play game, you'd think 3-3, bottom of the last, this is riveting entertainment, and it is. But then there's the fact that the semis start tomorrow, about 21 hours from now, and neither of these teams want to go too long tonight, and both are in position to play tomorrow. But I think both would want to win this game too if they can. If all things
you want to
are
win.
even. So
you would like to win the game, but your objective is to win this American Legion World Series, and you know you don't have to win this game to have a chance to win them. Interesting.
So Nick Souza takes over on the mound.
Yeah.
He's the 3rd Portland pitcher of this game.
And we got a new catcher. I can't see the number, actually. Miles Van Doren. You know, in both teams, you don't want to waste pitchers. You don't want to use guys, and you know, where they wouldn't be able to come back tomorrow. You know, Nick's a good pitcher, heavy ball, going to Mount Hood Junior College, one of their guys he talks about.
Caden Nieto, a guy that's capable of ending this game on one swing.
Yeah.
Stadium radar gun had that first pitch fastball at 90. We had 87 on our screen. 1-0 to Nieto. High fly to left. Coltman goes back, but Nieto didn't get all of it. And there's one away. Shy of the track. Coltman makes the catch. Nieto 0 for 4 today, and now 1 for 9 here in Shelby. The one hit was the grand slam on Thursday. I mean, if you're Midland, Michigan, Woody, it's an interesting thought. Would you rather go against Tupelo, Mississippi and lose this game? Or would you rather win this game and face Lincoln, Nebraska?
And only one person knows that answer. And he's down on the field, and we can't ask him.
I think from what we have seen the last few days, Tupelo looks like they have more firepower offensively.
And they got good pitching. They're a good team, very good team.
They did lose Braden Edmiston. We're not certain of his status, but it didn't look great when he went down yesterday in the box. 1-1 to Miski.
And then I don't think Nebraska's played their best baseball yet. You know, they've got to clean some things up,
That's
some
fair.
errors, and so, you know, when are they going to put that together? Maybe they put it together next game.
They're a team that's been to the final before.
And they got a good coach that knows what he's doing and knows how to get them to respond. But either way you look at it, you don't want to just use pitching up that you could use for the next 2 days.
If Midland is able to win, they'll get Lincoln. And it would be a matchup between the runners-up from 23 and 24, 2 years ago and 3 years ago, respectively. So one of those teams would get back to the final at minimum. That's ball 4. Miski draws the one-out walk. Here comes Gabe Wegener.
I don't know what that was right there. Umpire had to come down first.
Saramelli, the first base umpire, looked a little annoyed with how long it took Miski to get to first base.
Yeah.
Joe Duran out to the mound to have a chat with his entire infield. The way he threw the bat away?
I don't know. Miski looked like he was looking out at him for some reason. I don't know.
Took his time to disrobe of the batting gloves. All right, potential winning run at first. Even if Portland loses 4-3, they're good. Joe Duran, Dan Cronkrite assessing the situation. Still got one more game to come tonight. Tupelo, Mississippi and Fairfield, California. We know Tupelo has won the pool. We know Fairfield's eliminated. One more chance for the Expos to take the field here in Shelby. Try to get a win for Brad Hansen as they head back home to the Bay Area.
There they are right there.
Expos are ready to go. Scheduled for a 7 o'clock start, but that is not going to happen. This game was delayed about 30 minutes at the start due to the length of the Lincoln White House game, which was a de facto quarterfinal and was a riveting 7 innings.
There's the Tupelo boys.
Sure that's not the Texas Rangers?
They're that big.
2-1. And it missed. Not by much, but it missed. Three-1. Ball 4. First and second. 1 out. Roper coming up. Roper has not made an out today. 2 singles and a hit by pitch.
Now batting, replacement Jay Roper, number 16.
Nobody out. I think Dan Cronkite would probably bunt here. With 1 out, I'd be surprised if Roper's not swinging away. Three-run homer's okay. Grand slam would eliminate Portland if they lose 7-3.
Well, you know, I'm curious to see really what happens if so. Punjabi's on deck and he has the capability of hitting it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you gotta walk him at that point.
Got to. And everybody in the stands, everybody's going. Most people don't know what's going on. I'm walking the winning run in. But you got to.
Could you imagine?
You got to though.
Absolutely. You can't risk him hitting a grand slam to knock you out. Take your chances with Tupelo tomorrow. Here's the pitch. You were all over it. I hadn't pondered the possibility of how Oregon was okay except for a walk-off grand slam. And here we are, first and second.
Yeah, this is.
Just when you thought Jacksonville's flame had been completely extinguished, there's a crazy 1 in a million possibility that just maybe we could see a bolt of lightning.
And surely they know that down there. You would think.
The pitch. In a tight zone. 2-1.
I don't know if in the history of baseball we'd ever seen that before, though, if it happens.
Winning run at second base. Ball 3 is outside. Punjabi's on deck. What is Joe Duran gonna do? Would he dare pitch to Punjabi?
And I've tried to walk people with me coaching and them hit a home run trying to throw around them.
The pitch. Foul back. And look, if you go to extra innings, then you risk, if Oregon gets 2 in the top of the 8th, well, then there's the possibility they could lose, 7-5. Or they got, that opens the possibility for losing. More runs allowed. 3-2. Softly tapped foul up the third base line. The last thing you want if you're Oregon is to score 4 runs in the top of the 8th, and then Michigan scores 5, and you're eliminated.
You're eliminated.
Yeah, because it's runs allowed.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Right now, you just give up 1 run and live to see another day. 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4.
Let's see what he does. I mean, he's got to. I hate that for baseball, and I hate that, but if you're wanting to play tomorrow, you've got to do that. And they are not.
Joe Duran is playing it straight, it appears.
Oh, man.
Bases are loaded. If Punjabi hits a grand slam, Jacksonville, Florida would be moving on, because that would give Jacksonville and Oregon exactly 16 runs allowed, and Oregon would have 14 runs scored and Jacksonville would have 15. We said if it was 7-4, it would be a coin toss, but 7-3 would be what Jacksonville needs. There's 1 out.
So, Florida still has a chance.
They still have a chance. They are the
If
biggest.
he pitches to him, he has a chance.
They are all buying Punjabi jerseys if he goes yard here.
Yes, they are.
Aryan Punjabi already accepted to MIT despite the fact he hasn't started his senior year of high school. Batting with the bases loaded in a tie game in the last of the 7th.
They'll actually have 2 chances. I mean, there's 1 out.
The outfield has all moved in to be able to potentially throw out the runner. And now Duran's telling the outfield to move back, saying don't let it go over your head. Back down and away. This is all going to be moot if Evan King walks Punjabi and the game ends on a ball 4.
Yeah, but what could have been? You know, I mean, that's what people. I mean,
Midland
goodness
just
gracious.
wants to win. You know, they don't care if they win 4-3 or 7-3. Jacksonville needs them to win 7-3.
We've never had this happen here as long as I've been here.
What a circumstance. Bases loaded, 2-0. And where did that miss? Losing his hat on the pitch. It's 3-0. Joe Duran's barking at the home plate umpire, Nick Stevens. Another miss ends the game. Jacksonville needs a swing. Midland's Aryan Punjabi awaits. And it's ball 4 to end the ball game and end the tournament for Jacksonville. But the Portland Barbers will play tomorrow in the first semifinal. So the final score, Midland 4, Portland 3. You could live another 100 years and never see a situation quite like this.
Wow.
That officially ends the tournament for Jacksonville, Corey Goff's team. A valiant effort. You've talked about it many times, how close they were to potentially being 3-0. Oregon at 1-2, but with only 12 runs allowed in their 3 games. They will be the runners-up from the Stars division to take on Tupelo, Mississippi at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And then the second semi will be Midland and Lincoln, who were both in the finals of this event in the last 3 years.
I don't know if we could have come up with that scenario there. That is nuts, I tell you. But anyway, good game. It's all set. It's all set.
It's not all set, Woody, because we still got one more